Hello, guys, and welcome back to another Premier League predictions for the new season 2026 and 27. As now, in 2 days' time, we are going to have our first kickoff game between Arsenal versus Coventry City in the Premier League. So, yeah, I'm so excited now that the Premier League is back on. And now we are going to predict the Premier League for the new season. Let's go. And as you can see at the bottom, we've got the previous seasons that I predicted 2 seasons ago. I got really bad. I got 88 points. The previous season that just went by, I got 86 points. But then again, I did not watch enough Premier League football to analyse what was going on. And I think these predictions are going to be mostly based what happened on last season. I could be wrong, of course. But like I said, I think I've got a good chance this season in getting the whole Premier League predictions sort of right. But we'll see what happens, of course, at the end of the season. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so pretty much I'm going to give you some insight to maybe some clubs. I might be right or might be wrong because I'm not that into football in terms of knowing what each club is up to. But hopefully as next season develops, hopefully the future seasons that I will be predicting the Premier League, I will know more insight to each club. So it would give me more insight and great potential in talking about each club properly. Okay, so we start off with 20th position. I have gone with new league promoted Ipswich Town. I think Ipswich Town are going to finish rock bottom in the Premier League. Of course, I think they're a side that finished second. I did not think they finished first. I think who finished first? Yeah, Coventry City won the championship, didn't they? And Ipswich Town came second. I just think for Ipswich Town, yeah, they're runners up. And to be honest, they could have actually finished in the playoffs. They went from a end game winning streak to get into the championship with Frank Lampard. No, sorry. I think it was Kieran McKenna, right? So yeah, they got a winning streak after that. So yeah, Ipswich Town, I put them 20th place just because it's the Premier League and it's a new kettle of fish. And as we saw, teams that have come up in the past have gone straight back down because of the level and the quick intensity of the Premier League football. In 19th place, again, I have gone with new league promoted side, Hull City. I just think Hull City, again, similar with Ipswich Town. It's a new league. It's a brand new league. They have came up through the playoffs, of course, beating Middlesbrough in the championship final last season. And I know a few players that they have, like Liam Miller. I know Ollie McBurney. He used to be a former Blades forward, and he is a very good striker. Don't get me wrong, Ollie McBurney is. The Premier League sides that Ollie McBurney will be facing will be more harder than the footballers that he played against in the championship, simply because it's a quicker league, it's quicker football than the championship. So yeah, sorry to all the Tiger fans. I've put Hull City in 19th place. I would love them to stay up, but I just think the Premier League is such a fast-paced league compared to the championship. Okay, in 18th place, I have gone with, this is going to be a big shock because I thought of last season West Ham going down on Wolves. That was a big shock to me. So I am going to put one team that's going to be sort of a shock, and it's going to be Nottingham Forest. I think Nottingham Forest are going to be relegated for next season. I genuinely think Nottingham Forest will be. Like I said, I don't know too much insight about them, but I looked at them last season. They finished 16th. And I just look at Forest. They've been in the Prem for a while, and it's good that they have. Not last season, but the season before. They've got Europa League football. Maybe that was dragging them back for last season. But yeah, Nottingham Forest. Sorry to all the Nottingham Forest fans. I know I just did a vlog there at the Sea Ground. But I just think Nottingham Forest will go down. I just see that happening. A team like that will go down like what we saw last season. Okay, just surviving in the Premier League, I've gone again, new league promoted side, Coventry City. Again, this is the Frank Lampard side. So yeah, Coventry City, the former Chelsea player, Coventry City. They've got obviously Frank Lampard as manager. They've got a few players that I know, like Hamer, I think he still plays for them. They've got Sims. I know him as well. Yeah, I do see Coventry City having a struggling Premier League season for the new season, as they have won the championship last season. And I think what will put them up is like a surprise package. Like I said, Nottingham Forest going down, and I think Coventry City will just survive. I think they'll go off to a poor start, and then I think they may sack Frank Lampard, maybe, and then they'll get in a new manager that can maybe keep them in. And I just think Coventry City will just survive. I think a miracle will happen for them. Normally we see 3 teams go down, straight down to the championship. But I think Coventry City would just survive. I think they've got that spirit, they've got Hamer, they've got Sims, like I said, and hopefully that will be enough for them. Okay, in 16th place, I have gone with Leeds United. Yeah, 16th place, I have gone with Leeds United just because they have still got good players in their team. Last season, they over-surprised me. Forgot where they finished. They did stay in the Premier League. I think they finished 15th or 14th. Can't remember. But I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin will score them goals. They've got a few. I think Jack Harrison still plays. I'm not sure. I think they got Gononto as well. So they've still got attacking threat that can keep them in the Premier League. I don't think they'll go too far. I think they'll just survive. So I put Leeds United in 16th place. In 15th place, I've gone with Oliver Glasner. I'm not sure if Glasner's still there for them, but I've gone with Crystal Palace. Now, this team always stays in the Premier League, so it'll be disastrous if they get relegated. I don't think they will. I think because of last season, they have won a lot of trophies. They've won the Conference League, I think, last season. They've won the FA Cup as well the season before that. And I just think Crystal Palace are a good Premier League side. They're a regular Premier League side that you would normally see in the Premier League right now. I think they are the longest not well club in the Premier League, like developed, like constantly always in there. And I just think Crystal Palace will do what they always do each season, and they will finish 15th place. Okay, in 14th place, we've gone with Newcastle United. Yeah, so in 14th place, I've gone with Newcastle United. I just think now that Eddie Howe's gone, I think Tonali's gone to... I'm not sure if I said that right. Tonali has gone to Tottenham Hotspur. Anthony Gordon has gone to Barcelona. I think Lewis Hall doesn't play for Newcastle as well. Of course, they lost Isak as well. So I just think Newcastle will drop. It'll be a huge drop off to previous seasons where before I would predict them in the Champions League spaces, right? As you saw in the last two predictions, I think I did put them sort of in the top 10. But now I think Newcastle are going to be in the bottom 10 just because they lost a lot of players. And I think they're in a very, very huge crisis now, Newcastle United. I don't think they've even signed any players in the team that can help them go forward. So sorry to all the Geordies in Newcastle. I just think you guys are going to finish 14th place and going to have a very struggling season to what you normally have. Eddie Howe leaving, a good manager. Lewis Hall, Gordon, Tonali, I think, leaving the club is just going to put huge downpours on Newcastle United. Okay, in 13th place, I have gone with... This might shock a lot of people. I've gone with Tottenham Hotspur. Now, of course, the last two seasons, they've not surprised me, Tottenham, in terms of the football. That's why I'm not putting them even higher up, because last season, I think they finished 16th. No, last season, they actually finished 17th. Could you believe it? A club like Tottenham Hotspur finishing 17th place, right? That just shocks one's mind. How can Tottenham Hotspur finish in around the relegations areas, just surviving in the Premier League? It was West Ham. Could have been Tottenham. And the reason why I put Tottenham Hotspur 13th, because they have signed, I think, Mateus Fernandes, Tonali, as I said earlier before. And I just think they've signed a good manager. I forgot who the manager was. They've signed, I think, a really good manager that can get them a bit higher up in the table. So that is why I put Tottenham Hotspur 13th. I just think they'll have a better season than last season, but I don't think they're going to do extremely well. And that's why I put Tottenham 13th place. Okay, 12th place, I have gone with the Europa League finishers, AFC Bournemouth. What a season they had last season under Areola. And Bournemouth, I think they will sort of drop off this season because of European football. And I think they'll have too much football. I think a few players have left their club as well. And I just think AFC Bournemouth will finish in 12th place. I think seasons to come, I think Bournemouth will be a good Premier League side now that they've got stability. I think Alex Scott still plays for AFC Bournemouth, which is why I put them 12th place. But yeah, Bournemouth are a very good side. I really admire the work that Bournemouth put in, you know, bringing in great players that can develop the club in long term. And then they can sell these players to greater clubs and they can get a lot of money to sign even more players that can help them and boost them in the table as well, and hopefully more to come. So this is the reason why I put Bournemouth 12th, because of European football. It's just going to be too much for them. Europa League's it's a big thing for Bournemouth, isn't it? A club like Bournemouth, the size of Bournemouth. So like I said, I've got to give credit to Bournemouth. I think they'll finish 12th. Okay, 11th place again. I put, what do I mean again? I'm just going to put Sunderland finishing 11th place. Yes, last season they had a remarkable season. After being back in the Premier League after so long, of course, being relegated in the Championship, then League One, and then taking time getting back in the Championship, now back in the Premier League after a long while, and of course getting Europa League football after a huge long return. I just think Sunderland are going to drop off a bit in the Premier League because of, again, same reason to AFC Bournemouth. They've got Europa League football. It's just going to be too much stress for Sunderland and the players and the fans to undergo and under admire, and I think that's going to really distract them. A lot of football be playing, a lot of expectations, a lot of happiness in the Sunderland players. Say, for example, they win their first 3-4 Europa League games. Their mind's off the Premier League. They don't mind if they win or lose, but they just want to stay in the Premier League at the same time. I think they got the squad for that. So that is why I put Sunderland 11th place. Okay, in 10th place, I've gone with Fulham. Now, of course, people would say Fulham maybe should deserve finishing in the 7th to the 1st positions under Marco Silva. People would say to me that Fulham would be bettered, predicted in the top 8 or the top 7, whatever. What I say to people is that Fulham are a football club that are normally finish in and around this position. They normally finish 11th, they normally finish 10th. They're normally that sort of club that like to finish in that position every season. I've seen it in the past 2 seasons before predicting this Premier League. They finished 11th, 10th, 13th. They're normally a club that finishes in and around that position. So that is why I put Fulham in 10th place. I just think Fulham will have that similar season where they normally finish mid-table. And Fulham, for me, are a mid-table club under Marco Silva. So yeah, Fulham for me are 10th. I don't think they'll get Europa League or European football. I think there are maybe slightly better teams than Fulham, no disrespect, but you never know, Fulham could even maybe get Conference League. But I've got Fulham finishing 10th place. Okay, in 9th place, I've gone with Brighton. Of course, they've lost key man Danny Welbeck. And you've got to think, yes, I think they've still got Mitoma, but you've got to think, where are the goals coming from for Brighton? Welbeck was a key player for that forward line. I think they got Rutter. I think they got a few players as well that can help. I'm not sure if I've got this right. Does Ivan Ferguson play for Brighton? I think he does. So yeah, I've gone Brighton 9th place. And I think last season they got Conference League, didn't they? I think Brighton just got European football, which is why I put them 9th. Yeah, Brighton did finish 8th place. Yes, because I do believe Brighton did finish 8th last season, a place above what I predicted for this one. Because of the Conference League and, of course, Welbeck leaving, I just think it'll be too much football. I just think they will slightly miss on European football. Then again, I could have maybe put Fulham 9th, Brighton 10th. But I just think Brighton, they do well to recruit young, bright talent. But I just don't think it will be enough for them to push on. But then again, Brighton, unpredictable. And they always do very well in Premier Leagues. Of course, for me, they're never a bottom 10 club. They're always a top 10 club. Just because of the way Brighton are and what Brighton do in each football game and get the job done. So yeah, I put Brighton in 9th place. Okay, the top 8 where all the European places will be allocated to, what I think will happen. So in 8th place, I've gone with Everton. I just think Everton are a football club now where they are back to where they used to be 10 years ago, 9 years ago, when they had Lukaku, when they had Fellaini, I'm not sure, when they had Kevin Morales, when they had Leighton Baines. I think Everton are starting to be that club again when they were under Roberto Martinez, who is now sacked from Portugal. But yeah, I just think Everton are that football club now where they are a really good Premier League side that can get you European football. I just think now, I think last season they finished 13th. I think this season they're going to really push on and get Conference League or some sort of European football because of they had to get used to their new stadium. And I think that's what maybe led their confidence to go a bit bad. And maybe other teams outside Everton have done better than them. So yeah, I've got Everton to finish 8th place and get Conference League football for next season, for the following season, for 27-28 season. Okay, 8th place, I've gone with Brentford. I think Brentford will finish 7th place. I think they still got Igor Thiago. What a player, what a striker, what forward he is. I think he's going to get them, again, a lot of goals. Brentford, for me, are just a club. I forgot who Brentford's head coach was, but I just think for Brentford, they are a side that will be a Premier League side for me. They're always a side that will stay in the Premier League. They're always a side that will always push themselves to get European football. Last season, they just missed out on the Conference League. I think this season, it will be their season, Brentford's, and they will get Europa League. I do see Brentford getting Europa League football for the following season just because of their squad, their talent, their recruitment. They get good players in. Like I said, Mbeumo leaving. They'll get another type of an Mbeumo. Like I said, Watkins left, Benrahma left. They got other versions that replace them. They go straight in the starting lineup and they perform and they deliver and they get Brentford the results that keeps them very high in the table. Okay, and then we go on to the 6th place. I've gone with Chelsea. I'm going to go a bit quick here. Chelsea have signed Jordan Henderson, Danny Welbeck. They've signed other players as well. I'm not sure. I've not been keeping as much up to date with Chelsea and most of the clubs in that position because I've been busy as well. But yeah, I just think Chelsea will be back to where they used to be, 6th place. Like I said, they've got no European football, but I just think the players they've signed, now they've got, I think Xabi Alonso manages them. That could be a very good manager, Xabi Alonso on Chelsea, managing Chelsea, getting them forward on where they need to be. So I'll put Chelsea in 6th place and they will also get Europa League for the following season. Okay, 5th place, I've gone with Manchester United. I'm just going to put Man United for short. And I just think with Michael Carrick, it's going to be like another Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think he's not going to get the best out of players. I think he's going to try a good system to make the players work. Like I said, Mbeumo's going to score goals. Cunha's going to score goals. Xerxes is going to score goals. They've got a good forward line, Man United. Rashford's back as well. So I think with that in mind, they're going to score a lot of goals and get them Champions League football. Like I said, they've also got Bruno Fernandes. Yes, he might have off games, but he's always a good essential player for Man United. They've signed Santos, they've signed Tielemans, so that's a great midfield as well. And I just think what will let Man United down or not get them forward is their defence. The defence is always just problems after problems every season. And I think teams even below and above are going to score goals past that back line. And I think Luke Shaw playing, I think they should have replaced Shaw and got a really good left back like Lewis Hall. But like I said, for Man United, I think 5th place is just about right. And plus they are playing Champions League football. They could get early injuries in the season and that can maybe drop them, and maybe that can drop their form later on in the season. And plus, yeah, United are in the Champions League, remember. So I put United 5th place. In 4th place, I've gone with Liverpool. Yeah, and people could say you could put United 4th, Liverpool 5th. I just think they got a new manager, Areola. Salah's left. They've got a new manager, Areola. That could be very good for Liverpool, but then it could be a massive expectation for Areola moving to a big club from Bournemouth. Of course, doing a great job at Bournemouth, coming at Liverpool. I think it's going to be too much for him to really adapt to Anfield and the playing conditions. But like I said, Liverpool have still got Gravenberch. They have got Cody Gakpo. They've got Florian Wirtz. They've got Virgil van Dijk. They've still got very good players in that team, Liverpool. The experience to get them in the Champions League spaces. So I have got Liverpool finishing 4th place. Okay, 3rd place, I'll go with Aston Villa. The reason I've gone with Aston Villa is you've just got to admire the work that Unai Emery has done. You know, managing Aston Villa, getting them consistently Champions League footballs. I think last season I predicted them not to even get Champions League football because of the amount of hard work they have to put in to get Champions League football. Of course, they narrowly lost to Aston Villa in the Super League. So Villa are a good side and I just think they'll finish 3rd. Like I said, Champions League football. Like I said, I always admired the work that Unai Emery's done for Aston Villa. And I think Villa are just going to stay where they are, 3rd or 4th. They are just going to get Champions League. I don't see them dropping off, but then they could. But for me, Villa are that Champions League favourites, in my opinion. Okay, in 2nd place, I've gone with Manchester City. Now, before I was doing this prediction, I was actually thinking City were going to finish 5th place. But then I thought, Liverpool, new manager, losing Salah. Where are the goals coming from? Salah's a great creative player. I look at Aston Villa. They're always finishing in that position, but have Villa signed a lot? They let Tielemans go, remember? Yes, they got John McGinn. But I just think for Villa, they're not that ready yet to get even higher up in the league. So that is why I put Villa 3rd. And now obviously I'm putting Man City 2nd. Big blow for City. They lost Rodri. Guardiola's left. And that just says it all. And remember, I put Man City 2nd, but in my mind, in my head, I'm thinking Man City are going to finish 5th. People might be laughing in the comments, but they've lost Pep Guardiola. They've lost Rodri, a Ballon d'Or winner, and the best player at the World Cup. You know, they've lost him. You know, he's gone to Barcelona. So he's a great midfielder. They've lost Bernardo Silva, obviously. Like I said, the team is still strong. Don't get me wrong, City have still got a very, very good team. Their squad's strong. Their foundations are strong, which is why I put them runners up. And not enough to win the Premier League again, which is why I put Arsenal back-to-back Premier League champions of the 2026-27 season. So I'm going to put next to Arsenal champions, and that is my predictions. I just think Arsenal last season, I think their team is just so much squad depth that you have. You know, Martinelli, you've got Michael Merino, he's a good game changer. You got Timber, you got Gabriel, that back line, that defensive tough back line to get through. It is very difficult. They've got Gabriel, they've got Saliba, they've got Calafiori, David Raya, a very good goalkeeper. Look to their midfield, Declan Rice. So many outstanding players. Martin Odegaard as well. And of course, they can also got different players on the bench that can bring on. Like I said with Merino, their forward line, you know, they've got Gyökeres, they've got Saka, and etc. The list goes on, which is why I put Arsenal Premier League champions. Okay, so that has been my Premier League predictions from 20th to 1st place. I think I'm quite happy with that, really. And I think hopefully my score will be at least 40s this time around. I do see most of these being right at the same position. But then again, I could be totally wrong. But like I said, we're just going to have to find out at the end of the Premier League season. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this Premier League predictions 2026-27. If you want to, you can drop a like, you know, and hopefully stay tuned for more content. Hopefully in the future, we'll see what happens, of course. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this Premier League predictions, my opinion on the new season. And like I said, I'm not going to be like the guy who's like previous seasons, you know, not knowing who the manager is and everything like that. Hopefully the new season, I'm going to watch more football, more Premier League highlights, knowing who the managers are, knowing the transfer rumours and everything. So yeah, catch you soon on that. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Take care, bye-bye, and peace out, guys.